Have you ever felt a wave of anger rise inside you so fast that you lost control in seconds? Maybe someone said something rude. Maybe life didn't go your way. Maybe a small moment turned into a big mess. And after it all, you were left thinking, why did I react like that? We've all been there. We've all snapped, shouted, cried, or shut down when we didn't want to. And each time we promise ourselves, next time, I'll stay calm. Next time I won't let it get to me. But when that next time comes, emotions rise again, and before we even realize it, we're reacting all over again. It feels like we're not in control. But what if I told you that you can take your power back, that you can learn how not to react, and that by doing so, you unlock a kind of peace, strength, and freedom that very few ever experience. This is not just about anger or sadness or anxiety. This is about learning how to become unshakable, not by avoiding emotions, but by mastering them. And for that, there's no better path than the teachings of Buddhism. In Buddhism, the greatest war is not fought outside. It's fought within. It's not about winning arguments or defeating enemies. It's about defeating your own reactions. You see, reacting is easy. Anyone can raise their voice. Anyone can slam a door. Anyone can drown in overthinking. But staying still in the middle of chaos, smiling gently in the face of disrespect, walking away from drama without a word, that requires strength, that requires mastery, that requires something deeper. And Buddhism teaches us how to find that depth within ourselves. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you reacted and it made the situation better? Think carefully. Most of the time, reacting just makes things worse. A small misunderstanding turns into a fight. A single insult leads to a broken friendship. One emotional outburst leads to days of regret. Why? Because when emotions take control, you lose control. You become like a puppet. Someone else pulls a string, says something, does something, and you jump. You react, you get angry, you cry, you shout. But what if you cut those strings? What if you became so centered, so calm, so rooted in awareness, that nothing could shake you? What if you didn't react, and instead responded, wisely, calmly, peacefully? That's what this journey is about. That's the power of not reacting. Buddhism doesn't ask you to suppress your emotions. It asks you to observe them, to understand them, to go so deep into your awareness that when an emotion rises, you don't get swept away by it, you watch it. Like a cloud passing in the sky. Let me tell you something powerful that changed my life forever. There's a teaching in Buddhist philosophy that says, you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. This is life-changing, because if you are the awareness, then your anger is not you. Your sadness is not you. Your anxiety is not you. They are just visitors. And what do we do when a visitor comes to our house? We greet them politely, we watch them, and when it's time, we let them go. That's exactly how emotions should be treated. The problem is, we treat them like owners. We let them take over. We let them control our speech, our behavior, our decisions. And then we wonder why we're so exhausted, so restless, so full of regret. But you don't have to live like this anymore. You can become calm like the ocean, still like a mountain, unmoved like the sky. But for that, you need to learn what no one ever taught you. How to pause, how to breathe, how to respond without reacting. There's a beautiful Buddhist story that explains this. One day, a man came to the Buddha and insulted him in front of everyone. He shouted, cursed, threw harsh words like knives. The Buddha remained silent, calm, unaffected. The man grew more furious. Why don't you say anything? He yelled. Don't you hear me? Aren't you angry? And the Buddha simply smiled and said, if someone offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong? The man was confused. To the one who offered it, he replied. Exactly, said the Buddha. In the same way, I do not accept your anger, so it stays with you. Now pause and think about that. Imagine if you could live your life like that, hearing harsh words but not letting them enter you, seeing chaos around you but remaining peaceful inside, feeling the wave of emotion rise, but simply watching it pass without getting swept away. That is the power of not reacting. It is not weakness, it is mastery. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally wise. Most people believe that strength is in fighting back, that power is in shouting louder. But true power is when you don't need to shout to be heard, when you don't need to fight to win, when your peace is so deep, no one can shake it. That's the kind of strength Buddhism teaches. In the ancient texts, it is said that a mind trained not to react becomes like a clear mirror. It reflects everything, but holds on to nothing. That is the goal, to become a mirror, not a sponge. But how do we get there? It starts with awareness. The moment you feel an emotion rising, pause. Don't speak, don't act, just breathe. Observe what's happening inside you. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? Is this feeling controlling me? That small pause, even 5 seconds, can change your entire life. Because in that pause, you become conscious. And when you are conscious, you are free. There is no freedom in reacting. There is only slavery to your past, to your triggers, to your pain. But when you learn to respond instead of react, you take your power back. You choose peace over chaos. You choose wisdom over impulse. You choose growth over ego. And that's when real transformation begins. Think of the people you admire, truly admire. Not because they're rich or famous, but because they carry a calmness, a quiet confidence. They don't react. They don't panic. They don't get pulled into every storm. They stand firm like a tree in the wind. That's not luck, that's not their personality, that's training. And Buddhism has been offering this training for over 2,500 years. The teachings are simple, but not easy. They ask you to turn inward, to sit in silence, to watch your breath, to observe your thoughts, to feel your emotions without acting on them. It may feel uncomfortable at first, because we've spent our entire lives reacting. But as you practice, you begin to feel something shift. You become lighter, calmer, stronger. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You stop arguing to prove your point. You stop replaying every insult in your head. You stop living as a prisoner of your emotions. Instead, you rise above. You live with awareness. You speak with intention. You act with clarity. And you respond only when truly necessary. This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is a practice, a path, a way of life. And it works. Millions of people have changed their lives by following this path. And you can too. So if you've ever asked, why do I get so angry? Why can't I control my emotions? Why do I keep reacting and regretting later? Then know this, the answers are here. In these teachings, in this practice, in this very moment. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it right every time. You just have to begin. Begin to pause. Begin to breathe. Begin to become aware. And slowly, step by step, you'll unlock the greatest power you've ever known. The power of not reacting. So stay with me, because what comes next is not just advice. It's transformation. And once you understand it, you'll never see your emotions the same way again. The first truth we must accept is that emotions are not the enemy. In Buddhism, emotions are seen as passing clouds. You are not the cloud, you are the sky. Emotions come and go. Some days they are dark and heavy. Some days they are light and drifting. But you are always the sky, vast, still, untouched. The mistake we make is identifying ourselves with these clouds. I am angry. I am hurt. I am broken. No, you are not. You are simply experiencing anger, hurt, or sadness. The moment you shift this language in your mind, everything changes. Instead of I am sad, say sadness is visiting me. Now you are the host, not the guest. Now you are the master of your emotional house. This shift is the foundation of not reacting. Why do we react? The real reason. Reacting is a form of protection. When we feel threatened, insecure, or hurt, our ego steps in and says, do something, say something, prove something. It's trying to protect us from pain, from shame, from rejection. But reacting never really protects us. It pushes people away. It creates distance. It damages trust. It leaves us empty. So how do we respond with awareness instead of reacting in pain? 1. The sacred pause. The moment you feel a reaction rising, pause. This is the most powerful moment of your emotional life. That 1 second can save relationships, prevent mistakes, and bring peace. Buddhists call this moment mindfulness. You can use techniques like taking 3 deep breaths, placing your hand on your heart, counting from 1 to 10 slowly, simply saying, "I will respond to this later." In that space of pausing, the mind cools down. The heat of the emotion starts to fade, and what rises instead is clarity. 2. Label the emotion. Another Buddhist technique is labeling. When you notice a strong feeling, name it. This is anger. This is jealousy. This is fear. Labeling helps you detach from it. Instead of drowning in the emotion, you observe it like a scientist. An observation breaks reactivity. 3. Watch the mind like a river. In meditation, we are taught to sit quietly and just observe our thoughts and feelings, like watching a river flow. You don't jump into the river, you watch it from the bank. The more you practice this, the more you'll notice. Your thoughts and emotions come and go. They don't stay, they don't define you. They are not permanent, they are not truth, they are passing movements. 4. The story of the samurai and the monk. A fierce samurai once came to a peaceful Zen monk and demanded, "Tell me the difference between heaven and hell." The monk looked him up and down and said, "You're nothing but a brute. I don't think you could understand anything of higher teaching." Enraged, the samurai drew his sword, ready to strike. "That," said the monk calmly, "is hell." Shocked, the samurai put his sword away and bowed. "And that," said the monk, "is heaven." In just a few seconds, the monk had demonstrated that our reactions create our suffering and our peace. 5. Choose silence over impulse. There is a reason silence is so sacred in Buddhist monasteries. Silence is not emptiness, it is awareness. When you feel like shouting, stay silent. When you want to prove someone wrong, stay silent. When you want to win the argument, stay silent. In that silence, observe yourself. Listen to the other person. Feel the emotion without acting on it. You'll be amazed at how many problems disappear when you give them the space of silence. 6. Detachment is freedom. Buddha taught the art of detachment, not because he wanted us to be cold, but because he wanted us to be free. When you're attached to being right, you react. When you're attached to your image, you react. When you're attached to how others treat you, you react. Let go. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the need to win. Let go of the need to be understood all the time. 7. Respond with compassion. Sometimes people hurt us because they are hurting. Sometimes people are rude because they are in pain. Buddhism teaches us to look beyond the surface. Instead of reacting to someone's anger, ask, what might they be going through? Instead of shouting back, ask, what would compassion look like here? This doesn't mean you become a doormat. It means you choose wisdom. 8. Daily practices to build emotional control. Morning meditation. Start with 10 minutes of watching your breath. Journaling at the end of the day. Write, what did I react to today? What could I have done differently? Gratitude practice when you're thankful. Your emotional state stabilizes. Mindful walking, walk slowly, with full awareness of each step. This trains you to slow your mind. 9. Teachings from the Dhammapada. The Dhammapada is a powerful Buddhist scripture full of wisdom on emotions. He who conquers himself is greater than he who conquers 1,000 men in battle. Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. Speak or act with a pure mind, and happiness will follow you like a shadow that never leaves. These are not just poetic lines, they are blueprints for emotional mastery. 10. Final story, the cup of tea. A Zen student visited a master and asked to be taught. The master began pouring tea into the student's cup, and kept pouring. The tea overflowed and spilled everywhere. "Stop, it's full," cried the student. "Exactly," said the master. "Your mind is like this cup. You are so full of reactions, beliefs, assumptions. There is no room for anything new. Empty your cup." We must empty ourselves of old habits, old ways of reacting, to make space for peace, awareness, and wisdom. Conclusion, the life that awaits you. Imagine living a life where you are no longer controlled by others' opinions. You don't lose your peace to small things. You walk away from conflict, not out of fear but power. You feel your emotions fully, but you are not ruled by them. That is the life Buddhism points to. That is the life of emotional freedom. That is the power of not reacting. So today, start with one thing. When the emotion rises, pause. That 1 second can change everything. Call to action. If this video touched something within you, share it with someone who needs this message today. Like, subscribe, and comment below. From today, I choose awareness over reaction. Let's walk this path together. Let's build a life of peace, power, and presence.